only thing we have to
Beer.
is
Beer.
itself.
Beer. So many choices.
Only no function beer well without.
Woohoo! Beer! Hello and welcome to another episode of Beer Busters. We're going to bring you the news and reviews, of course, of your favorite brews. I am Dan Baker, joined by my co-host and brewologist,
Steph Hefner.
and of course the demented and fermented,
Wayne Baker.
We are still socially distancing. Well, I mean, most of us. We are three groups of three people right now. Well, three groups of multiple people, I should say.
Don't do math.
It's math. I got a burrito I got to eat. There's beer I got to drink, and yet this is when I fuck up the math.
Yes.
Anyway. We are socially distancing. We are still quarantining to an extent, and we figured that this recording was scheduled far enough in advance that we could realistically make it out to the brewery that we are featuring today, but unfortunately we could not. But, you know, hey, it's the internet exists, and we're able to do this anyway.
You know, I just got to say, as much as I miss going out to breweries and sitting down and seeing the brewery and hanging out before and after the podcast, walking down the stairs from my bedroom and being ready to podcast is also pretty nice.
This is very true. Well, the brewery in question, as I'm sure you can see on your phone as you're listening to this, and the episode description is already there, but we are, of course, talking about Poor Man's Brewing. We have some awesome guys that are kind enough to spend some time with us. So, gentlemen, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourselves.
Ryan Foltz.
Sam Sun.
And Mike King.
All right, guys, thank you for taking the time to join us.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, of course. It's been a while since we were at Poor Man's. It's been about a year and a half, I guess.
It's been quite a while. That was a memorable evening, though. That was a fun show.
No James tonight.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Aw, no rapping.
You're not going to get any freestyling. That's a
No,
shame.
Mike promised he would get just as drunk, though.
All right, that's fair. Can you, as they say, spit hot fire?
Yes.
Oh, don't ever say that again. Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's been a while, and you know, I don't think I've had any Poor Man's beer since then, unfortunately, because I can't get out that way as often as I would like, and I'm glad that changes tonight because I've heard nothing but good things about what you guys, and I'm not surprised because everything that we had when we were there last time was just out of this world stellar.
Awesome. Glad to hear.
I do want to also, I gave these guys props before we started recording for hopping on the Zoom call a little early, which is nice. We appreciate that. Also, they arranged to give us some beers to drink tonight, so we're actually going to drink Poor Man's beers. Steph has the same beers. We can actually drink the same beer and talk about them, which is a first for a very long time. So thank you guys so much for setting that up.
Thank you.
We were able to meet up with Steph sent Rich to grab the beers. We were able to meet up and do a little exchange. So, yeah, we're actually going to be drinking Poor Man beer on the episode. It's almost like a real episode of Beer Busters. Almost.
It's as close as we can get. Well, remember, you out there, as you're listening to this, if you would like to follow along with the shenanigans, at Beer Busters on Twitter and Instagram is where you can go. There's also Facebook. We are Beer Busters Podcast. There's beerbusterspodcast.com and, of course, patreon.com/beerbusters, where you get access to Last Call, the special behind-the-scenes feed, and should I ever remember to do outtakes, you get those too. Sorry, I'm cheating you out of your monthly patronage. But I will make it up to you, I promise.
Also, another check mark in Poor Man's favor. They are also patrons.
That is true.
Which I think they joined just so they could hear that amazing freestyle rapping in the last call from the last time we recorded with them.
Shit, we're still paying for that?
See, I was actually hesitating to bring it up because a lot of people sign up and then forget.
No, we do. We still have it.
Well, thank you, guys.
We'll cancel it tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right, that's fair. Yeah, at least after this recording's over. No, wait till the episode releases because then it's all, we can't
No, true.
Punch in any sort of edits.
This is very true. We do have a sipping beer, at least Steph, Wayne, and I do. I mean, I know you guys have beer as well, but Steph coordinated this one with us. In light of, as we've talked about the past couple episodes, we have the Black is Beautiful collaborations that are out there, which I know you guys were part of. Yep. The one that Steph, Wayne, and I are drinking is from Harris Family and from Trogs. And up until literally right before we were recording this episode, I legitimately thought it was another one that was over 10%. It's 5 point something, and it's, what did you say, Steph? A cornbread-inspired brown?
A cornbread-inspired brown lager.
Yes.
And it's freaking delicious.
It is really good. When we talked to Tim from Harris Family, we talked about this beer at that time, right? He talked about doing it as a brown.
Yeah.
That's something different, which, I had slipped my mind until we cracked this can out now. But really nice to see the different variations that people are doing with it. I did kind of jokingly say before we started, it's kind of tough to find the right one in our beer fridge with all these Black is Beautiful labels, which is a beautiful sight to see. But I did have to kind of dig to find the one from the right brewery. But we've been trying to collect them, much like Pokemon. It's a lot of fun.
How many times are we going to say that? It's been every episode since.
You got to catch them
But
all.
this is more important than catching all the Pokemon.
This is true.
Catch all the
I
Black is
really
Beautifuls.
like that there's breweries that are kind of pushing the envelope. The first one that I drank on the show was the Poor Man's one, and I love that you guys did the Black IPA, which we can talk a little bit about now or later, whatever. But most of them have been Imperial Stouts, and I will say Springhouse actually was one of my favorite of the Imperial Stouts of the ones that I've cracked open so far. But to have another one that's not an Imperial Stout, that's a different style, is really nice. But yeah, it has been like playing Pokemon, trying to collect as many of these as possible.
Yeah, it's super cool. It's a lot of fun. I don't think we're going to collect the 1,000 or so that are out there, but at least the ones in our area. But yeah, why don't we talk about the Poor Man's version while we're on the subject? What inspired you guys to do a Black IPA?
So we pretty much text Mike Brubaker, the owner of Mooduk, like the second we decided we were going to do this, because a lot of times we do charity beers and we just collab together a lot. So we were going to do a stout, and then it was like a week before the scheduled brew day, and we were placing our ingredient order, and we had like 3 stouts on tap, and we were still only doing outdoor seating, and it's like 95 degrees. So we're like, no one's going to drink this. Like, they might force one down just to give the money to the charity, but it's going to be really hard to get through these kegs quickly and actually make the donation. So we make a Black IPA pretty much on a regular loop, and we didn't have that on tap, so we figured we'll take our Black IPA base, kind of tweak it a little bit, and Mike brought whatever hops he felt like using up here, and it's sold much quicker than I think it would have if we did a stout, especially with only being able to drink like half of our capacity outside. It'd been rough drinking 10% stout outside.
Yeah, that's a very good point. So you guys, have you gone through it all already?
We have like maybe 2 or 3 gallons left. We're on a 6-stall, and that's it. So it'll probably kick tonight or tomorrow.
Yep.
Oh, that's cool. Great. Awesome. And what was the charity you guys were supporting with it?
The YWCA of Lancaster. We feel for them, or with them, they've done a lot with Race for Racism. They do that race in Lancaster, so felt like it was a good charity to donate to, and especially, obviously Lancaster County as well.
Awesome. Very cool. Good to hear that it's almost gone. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty great.
It was really refreshing, and I forgot how much I miss Black IPAs.
Right.
So thank you for that, taking me back. How many years has it been since they were really popular? 5, 6 years?
It's been a long time.
Probably like 10. It just feels like 5.
I love them, though. That's definitely one of my go-tos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We brought them up on a game recently. I think it might have been last episode. Used a pun on Cascadia, or like Cascadia Dark Ale, and I was actually Googling through our past episodes to see, because I had remembered a beer with a ridiculous name that was a Black IPA from years ago that we had talked about on the show, and I was trying to find it, and it was like 2013, 2014 that we last, we've had some since then, but you don't see them around.
Yeah. I was just thinking the other day, and I was talking to somebody about like white IPAs too. They had like a hot maybe like 3 months, and then they were gone too. You never hear about them or really red IPAs or anything like that anymore.
They were probably less popular than Brute IPAs, because Brute IPA was here for a second and gone.
You know what killed Brute IPAs? Seltzers.
It was sort of the transition to the seltzers, because after they faded was when more craft breweries were starting to make seltzers.
Yeah, they were a little more effervescent. made
What
sense.
we found from the Brute is the enzyme amylase that everyone uses in Brute IPAs. We actually I found that I really like that, so we use it in a lot of our lagers in Crispy, our Kolsch.
Oh, nice.
One cool thing came from that. Yeah. So we actually found an enzyme that helps beer finish lower and more dry that we like.
Yeah, it's amazing how dry those beers would be.
Yeah, it's nuts.
So
I'll take it.
Speaking, we talked a little bit about this brown lager. Now, Steph, you said it was I forget, the corn something inspired?
Cornbread.
So cornbread. So inspired by the food cornbread.
Is it going to be that kind of night?
I really wish we were recording video so people could see the look I'm giving you right now.
In my head, I was like, let's expand on what that means. And I'm like, oh, it just means
It's just
cornbread.
cornbread.
Like, it doesn't mean it. Like,
Oh,
yeah.
Like the stuff I
the
tried.
food.
Yeah,
yeah, because that hadn't clicked until literally just that second.
yeah. The stuff I tried to make recently that didn't turn out so well.
Yeah, this is better than the cornbread Dan made.
It was first time.
Yeah.
By the way, as of recording, happy National Beer Day, everybody.
Is that today?
That's today,
Oh, yay.
August 7th, National Beer Day. So it's kind of fitting we're doing a podcast.
Cheers to that.
Yeah, right. So, just, with Poor Man's, we talked about your Black is Beautiful beer that you had. What else is new? I'm sure a lot has happened, and a lot of things are going down in your world since we last had you on. What's the skinny?
We've had probably like everything changed twice. It feels like around here. So, like I think last time you guys were here, we still had our 1-barrel system, if I remember right.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, our 3 was on order. So we've been brewing on that now for a little over like a year and a couple months, and we've gone through we have some double tanks, and we've gone expansion with that. Were you even on full time yet at that point?
No.
So Sam's come on full time.
All right.
Sam handles all of our like wholesale distribution. We've added right before COVID. Kind of luckily, we started doing some cans with beer guns and a manual seamer, and that's like what we survived on for the first month or so of COVID. And then we bought a canning line a couple months ago now, and that's been kind of our big thing. Our big push the last couple months has been our canning line. So Sam's our wholesale guy, so it's getting cans out, and like we're moving more volume than ever, but it's necessary just because the profit margins are what they are during COVID. We're not selling pints.
Yeah.
But we've changed so much. We added a kitchen since you guys were here last, so we have a page and a half of food items that are all quick prep stuff, but all tasty. What else is new?
Wholesale wise, we're out to like 7 beer distributors and probably 5 or 6 restaurant and bars around our area here. So we're getting the beer out there for as much as we can.
Yeah, our problem is just not enough beer. So we're installing a 10-barrel system and some 10-barrel tanks.
Yep.
We have I don't know if you guys have ever been to the Nostrovia Brewing Company in Erie, but that's whose system we were buying. So we're doing some work to make it fit in our garage. And this place is tiny. I'm sure you guys remember. It looks bigger once you get in here, but it's still only 3,000 square feet. So we're only going to be able to fit 4 tanks for now, and then our 10-barrel system. But it'll still be a lot better than what we're doing with our 3. So we can get more cans out places is our main thing. So Sam's on the phone for we feel like we have a ton of beer. Sam's on the phone for 15 minutes, and all of our beer's gone. We really need to get more beer.
It's a good problem to have.
It is a good problem to
exactly.
have, definitely.
Yeah.
Also, pretty nice that you guys set up a little more in the way of food service right before, or at least before all this mandates came down. Everybody has to buy a meal now with their drinks. So I'm sure that's helped you out a little bit. So you guys have indoor serving, limited capacity, all that kind of stuff, but you are open inside.
We have an outdoor area too that we luckily started the process in the outdoor area before the whole COVID thing happened. So once a couple weeks in or a month or 2 in, we the outside was fully legal, I guess you could say, and so now we have a big outdoor area and stuff, which is really nice.
So there's 24 seats inside under the new mandate, and then outside there's an additional 20 to 24-ish seats outside. So the 2 combined, if it's nice weather, we used to be able to seat around 60. So 2 combined are not much lower than what we were before. It's just we got to have some good weather.
Right. And are you guys still getting the same amount of traffic? People coming in? You filling up?
I don't know. Definitely not.
Yeah.
It's definitely less, but we're getting a lot of to-go sales. I think a lot of people in our area are still a little hesitant about kind of hanging out in places, and we feel a little more comfortable just getting beer and going home. So we're seeing it. It's trending up, and we just had our Mug Club renewal, so we're starting to see a lot of our Mug Club members coming back in now, and every week it seems like it's a little bit better than the week before.
Oh, that's cool. And that's the Pour Investment Club, correct?
Yeah, the Pour Investment Club. That's what we're drinking out of, the 20-ounce glass.
Nice. Oh, those are cool.
Any beer, and then every Wednesday you get a free 12-ounce pour of whatever you want.
Very cool.
That's cool.
Are you guys doing any takeout perks for Mug Club members since the whole situation?
We're doing discount on food.
Oh, okay.
All the food is 10% off. And then that's the only thing as far as like that would apply for to go.
Right. I mean, that makes sense. You guys have to. I mean, you can't be handing out discounts left and right with things the way that they are. But
yeah, the bartenders already get pissed at us because it's like every week we come up with some new discount and they have to remember it.
So when you guys get the 10-barrel system, since you have the canning line, how far do you plan on getting your beer out for distribution?
I think it will be lucky if we get a little bit into York and maybe a little bit into like the Reading area. Yeah. We're not going to have probably much outside of that. There's still like within a 10-mile radius, there's still a bunch of beer distributors that we haven't even talked to yet.
Yeah.
So we don't want to feel like we're leaving anybody out like in our local niche first. And we're having a hard time keeping some of the ones that are regular with us just even stock now. So it's more or less to kind of please our current customer base, and then after that, hopefully we get into a little bit in New York because Sam lives in Hellam, so it would make sense, and we're so close to Reading that would be cool too.
Yes, I would love if J. Crispy was available in Reading. That would be amazing.
I'm going to throw in a little suggestion to at least skip everything in between Reading and Philly, and then just end up in Philly. Just find like one distributor down here that'll take you. This way it's easier for us to get your beer consistently.
Yeah.
So we'll get right on that.
See, my theory is if I suggest it to every brewery that's expanding their distribution, one of them will listen to me.
Here's the thing. There is not a brewery in Pennsylvania that doesn't think the Philadelphia market is a good place to be. That's not the problem.
I know. Just trying to grease the wheels just a tiny bit.
So when all of this pandemic craziness started, you guys were one of the first to really, I think, get creative and figure out ways to get your beer in people's hand. You were the first brewery that I saw that was doing at-home delivery. You were expanding your delivery and takeout hours to, I feel like you were trying to be as flexible as possible to sell your beer. So can you talk about how quickly you reacted and the changes that you made, and what changes will you continue to keep in place as things slowly get back to normal?
Yeah, so when everything went down, we went home and we got really drunk. And then the next morning the plan was to come back in and just figure out how we were going to sell beer. So we sat down in the office, and the nice thing about being as small as we are is it's just me and Sam. So like if we decide we want to implement this plan that sounds like a giant pain in the ass, the only people that have to live with it are just Sam and I. So we decided we were going to do a 15-mile radius for deliveries. And actually that afternoon we went and picked up crowlers from St. B, and we were talking to John, and John's like, you guys know radius is only one side of a circle, right? It's all really crazy. Like, there's no way you guys are going to be able to span 30 miles in our area. Yeah. So we had just bought a delivery van, and we racked up like a couple thousand miles on that thing real quick. But Mike was working from home from his day job, so he was here every afternoon helping with deliveries, and then Saturdays we were out all day doing deliveries. And it was great. We actually had delivered to people who had never even been to our tap room before, which we didn't think was going to happen. So we actually gained some new customers during that period that we've even seen now come back.
Yeah, we were surprised by the amount of support that we were getting from the community. People saw that we were delivering, and we often heard, I just ordered because I want to support a small business.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, and we saw some of the people every day. So, like, the biggest thing that changed was, like, we saw all of our regulars in the tap room. Now we know where all of them live.
That's a very good point. I guess you don't deliver to P.O. boxes, huh?
Yeah, right.
Now, was the canning line, did you plan to install that, or did this whole thing sort of speed that process up?
It's been a plan, but we thought we were years from that before all this happened. And then with the beer guns, we got up to, we had two of them. We were able to do like 240 cans in about 4 hours, which
is horrible.
Yeah,
that's painful.
Yeah. So we would be in like first thing in the morning, and we'd can as much beer as we can for that day, and then we would hopefully, like the days that we weren't doing deliveries, get enough of a surplus to get through Saturdays then when we weren't canning too much. And then when all of the relief funds came out, we had it was either take a small business loan for disaster relief, sit on it, pay our bills to kind of take the safe route, or reinvest in what we thought would be a good plan to continue to sell beer and keep ourselves busy and also bring our employees back to work eventually. So that's what we did. And we're super
Hell
happy
yeah.
that we did it. We love the can line. Every time we're running that thing, it's like, man, this is the best thing. It costs more than Sam and I's cars do combined, probably, but it's like the best thing we've ever bought. I love that thing.
That's cool to hear that you were able to get that relief money and turn it around, like you said, reinvest it and do something.
Yep.
You know, I mean, obviously, a lot of small businesses need a safety net right now, but to be kind of proactive about it and to know that you have the business to support, you know, increasing your production like that, that's great to hear.
Yeah.
So we alluded to it, and I'm really, really excited to try it. The
too.
Crispy Kolsch. We have a couple of cans here. Thanks again, guys, for providing the beer.
We're just each gonna have our own.
Oh yeah, we each got our own of
right,
these.
cool.
Yeah, there's 2 cans of all the poor
Well,
man's.
yeah, I just figured
You're
one
gonna
now,
want
one
your
later.
own can.
I figured one now, one later.
It's
but
a Kolsch, man.
I know. I'm worried I'm going to drink it too quick. That's really what I'm worried about.
Listen, if we run out of poor man's beers, we do have tons of other beer in the house.
True. But since they don't distribute to Philly yet, it's kind of rare for us to get this beer.
That is something that's really cool. You mentioned about people ordering beer deliveries that had never been to the tap room. I haven't gotten too much beer delivered from places I haven't been before. I've definitely gotten beer delivered that I probably wouldn't have bought if they weren't offering delivery. But I did get some from Attic, which is a relatively new brewery up in the Germantown area in Philly. And Steph had said that she saw they were doing a Black is Beautiful, and she wanted to know if we could grab one for her. And I ended up getting a bunch of other cans from them and enjoyed a lot of them. So that's a brewery I'm going to go back to that I hadn't even heard of before that. And I only got to try their beer because they had a delivery service. So this whole new world of having beer from all these breweries just come to your door is pretty awesome. And I hope a lot of breweries, and I think a lot will continue doing that even as the world gets hopefully back to normal.
We're going to get some Crispy cans, too.
Woo!
Nice.
Yay.
We're sitting in the tap room. We could just go get it on draft. But we're just going to drink cans. So we can
Why not?
Oh, should we take with Dan? You have your camera out. You should take a picture of the screen.
I could just do
I'm getting...
this keyboard is so far away to get us both in the shot that like I can't do a screenshot.
Move your hand. I gotta...
Sorry. Move your hand. I'm taking a picture.
Dan's got a glass of a different beer.
Oh, look at that. And then we'll do label out there, and then, yes, I will take a picture.
Picture of the screen. This is weird. This is really weird.
Get my face in there.
That's the weirdest thing that happens tonight that we're doing it back.
Yeah, right.
That's a fair point. A fair point well made.
I love this beer so much. If I talk to people that don't know you guys, this is the beer I tell them to get.
Very
This
nice.
is our favorite beer by far that we make.
Yeah. It's so good.
So I want to talk about the name. Obviously, Crispy because it's a Kolsch, but Crispy, I'm assuming, is an Impractical Jokers reference.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, Sam and I are both Impractical Jokers fans.
Nice.
They had to explain it to me.
You're going to have to explain it to me because I don't know.
It's one of the Impractical Jokers, one of their characters.
Yeah.
They have like repetitive name, like nicknames, and the one guy's nickname is Crispy. So it's Crispy Volcano, but we figured Volcano was a little bit too long, so we just dropped it. Crispy.
Yeah.
Also, you gotta worry about that cease and desist.
Yeah.
If you get a little too
Yeah.
close.
I mean, it'd be kind of cool to get one from them. But
That's true.
You also make a Jahazy, right?
Yeah, we make a Jahazy, which is like basically the opposite of Crispy. So like we hate it, is what we're getting at. That's our hazy New England pale ale that we just started making. That was like we thought it was gonna be a one-off, but I think we're actually gonna bring that back
and keep it going.
and keep bringing that back occasionally.
You should do a whole Ja series, like Ja Crispy,
Yeah.
Ja Hazy.
We may end up doing that because the labels are kind of cool. We like the hello, my name is. We can just keep kind of rolling that same thing.
Yeah, for people who can't see this right now, it is basically a name tag with like written in like Sharpie, Ja Crispy, Kolsch.
Do one that's got jalapenos in it and have it be Jalapeno.
Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you.
That's good.
That is good.
I was going to bring up earlier when we were talking about the black IPAs that my favorite black IPA we ever did was called Casper. Because that had...
That was a fucking porter, Mike.
No.
Yes, it
It doesn't matter. The important part was that it had habaneros and ghost peppers in it.
Ah.
I think I like Mike.
You're the only one.
Well, that's. I'm surprised you didn't start with this. Something new since we last talked to you guys is
It's not new,
Mike.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
not new to us. We've
So-
seen him since day one.
Yeah, Mike came in day one. Sam and I were bartending, and he sat right in front of us, and then he hasn't left since. So at some point, we had to give him a part of the company just because we felt bad that he was here every day.
Yeah.
So he bought some of James's shares, and Mike's been like a little bit of everything. Like he
Yeah,
comes in, mills
all over the
grain the
place.
night before, fills up the kettle the night before for brew days, helps out open the tap room. He's like our like anything he needs done
Go-to
extra.
dude.
Mike is the
Yeah.
guy for that. And he has a microbiology background, so that definitely
Oh.
doesn't hurt either around the brewery.
Yeah.
Would you say a microbiology background?
All right.
You know what? I should have quit while I was ahead.
Jalapeno was good. Now you're pushing your luck.
Stop while you're ahead.
Might I suggest
sorry.
a malt liquor called Crangis McBasketball?
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
I was trying to think of the other name, and I couldn't think of
About
it.
that name.
Yeah.
So now that you're distributing to Lancaster, are you guys self-distributing in your delivery van?
Yep. We're self-distributing. Contact everyone from here. Do everything from here. We don't go through anyone else. Really built a lot of good relationships with a lot of these guys so far. So it's been pretty good.
Where are some of the regular spots that are carrying your beer?
Beer and beverage shop. Trying to think here. Zern's in Mannheim. Ephrata Beverage. Denver Beverage. Adamstown. Hempfield Beverage. I'm trying to think what else. Brewers Outlet. That's the name of the
551.
Yeah, 551
Friendly
West.
Greek.
Yeah, Friendly Greek too. I'm trying to think what else.
Yeah, remain.
Tobias, they have us on tap at Tobias Frogs.
A lot of the draft accounts
yeah.
are just starting to kind of ramp back up. Everyone was going through some beer from before COVID.
I'm really enjoying this Kolsch. This is the first time I've had it.
Thanks, man. We brewed that, and it was like right around the time of the farm show competition. So the Pennsylvania Farm Show started a beer competition 2 years ago. This is the second year. We missed it the first time around, so we were super excited to be able to get beer in the second time. And we pretty much just picked like our 6 favorite beers that we had on tap to enter, because that's the max you could enter. And it was the first time we ever brewed Crispy, and we were super happy with it. And we had 3 beers placed, and by far we're the one we're most proud of is that Crispy was second place in light ales and lagers last year.
Who took first place?
It was the guys from Warwick Farms. They're Pilsner.
Those bastards.
Yeah, I think we may have talked about that when we were there.
I just remember the ATV ride.
Oh my god. I don't even know. That wasn't an ATV. I don't know what that was. We all drunkenly rode around on some kind of farm equipment after the podcast because they have all that land.
I have a ball that's this big coming at my face, you know?
Oh, that was
Oh my
another fun one.
goodness.
That was another crazy night.
So to get back to real conversation, you mentioned that you recently expanded the food menu. What are some? When we were there, I think we had pizza. What have you added to the menu?
Pretzels.
We did pretzels. Yeah, it was pretzels.
We just had pretzels.
Oh, pretzels.
Yep.
Well, we may have gotten pizza delivered.
I think
Probably.
that
Yeah.
happened. Yes, that did
Yeah.
happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, that was
That's
it.
what it was. So what types of food are on the menu?
We have fish tacos, tots, chicken tenders. We have pizzas and tomato pie from a local bakery that we make here. Then chicken sandwiches, boneless wings, kind of all over the place.
Sam's mom's egg rolls.
Yeah,
That's
which,
our
which
best
I don't know
seller.
if you guys had those or not. when
I don't
you
think
were
so.
here.
No, I think we just did the
No.
pretzels.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, so
Ridiculous.
yeah, so my mom's homemade egg rolls as well.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
Yeah.
Do you call them Sam's mom's egg rolls on the menu?
It's actually Mama Son's egg rolls. So
Oh, even better. Mama's sons. Nice.
I'm curious about the
That's
chicken
awesome.
sandwiches. I tend to order chicken sandwiches when I'm drinking, so later on I may order one. What kind of chicken sandwiches are we talking about? Are we talking like fried chicken, breaded chicken? Are we talking grilled chicken?
it's like it's a breaded chicken sandwich, but we do like a spicy chicken with pepper jack, spicy
Sriracha
pickles, and sriracha mayo
Oh, that sounds
on a brioche.
that sounds so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, when all this thing with COVID happened, we had this grand idea to do a competition, like a bracket, because it was around March. So we were doing this bracket with all of the local and fast food spicy chicken sandwiches. So James would bring in a couple of sandwiches for everybody to try, and we would all grade them on a scale.
We took it way too serious.
Yeah.
Like we had a scoring system for like tenderness, juiciness, spice level.
Yeah.
Overall impression.
Yeah, we got way too into it.
So far, Popeyes is on top of the list.
Oh, okay.
You know, I think I've only ever had Popeyes once in my life.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had Popeyes.
There's one up on Broad. There's one down by Aldi also.
Is there?
It's right by the beer distributor down there.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
See, but it wasn't too much. That is the right way to go about analyzing the chicken sandwiches that you're having. I've started to do that with ones I get on Caviar and Grubhub, so I'm right there with you.
Do like
Hold
aroma,
on.
taste,
Wayne.
mouthfeel.
One time you and I were drinking in Jersey because we went to the brewery that won the chili beer gold medal in the chili
the
beer
Rusty
category at
Rail?
GBF.
Rusty Rail?
It was was it 8th and Sam?
Oh yeah, it was a railroad theme. Yeah.
But anyway, on that day trip, we stopped at a Popeyes to pee. I don't remember if you ate anything or not,
I don't think so.
but I know we stopped there to use the bathroom.
I remember that day. I don't remember eating Popeyes.
Just came out recently.
Oh, that's true. That's true. It wasn't out then, I guess.
Yeah. Why do I know that?
I don't know.
Side note, that chili beer was really good, Mike, so you may need to go there.
Yeah, I heard that, and I put my hand to my chest.
Yeah. That was the place that had the outdoor with like the gravel patio and like fire
Yeah.
pits. Yeah, I remember that.
The train theme.
Sounds nice.
Yeah, it was a cool spot. I liked it. So talking about beers you guys make, because that's what we do on this show. That's kind of the premise. You guys have a lot of beers on tap now. How many taps you guys have going?
We have 13. Normally, of the 13, one of them is we run Big Hill cider all the time. Then the rest of them are normally our beer. If we get behind, we'll get a guest tap from one of our friend breweries locally. And yeah, we decided. I think last time you guys were here, we didn't have any. I know it's like a dirty word in the brewing industry, but flagships. No one ever says flagships anymore. But we didn't have any of them. We just had beers we made more often. We've kind of like made the complete 180 on that. And actually, of our 13, 6 of them are around all the time. Our community just really likes some of these. Everyone around here is kind of a routinistic. A lot of them are. So like they'll come in and have the same thing sometimes over and over again, and then try one new thing. So we cater to that, and I'm super happy that we did because we really like all of them. So we always have Going Broke on, which we gave you guys some cans of. That's our American IPA we've had since day one. We started a Haze Phase series, which is our New England IPA that we rotate the hops in. Crispy's on all the time. Berry Funny, which is a raspberry sour, we keep on all the time. And then Oats and Hose, which is our oatmeal cold brew coffee stout. So we have those on all the time. Then we almost always have something Belgian, whether it be a Saison. One of our, what we call the Boys Pale Ales, which is the pale ale, single hop pale ales named after Sam and I's sons. And then the rest is kind of like a free for all of whatever we're feeling at that time and whatever fits the season.
As a regular, one of the things I really liked about this place was the turnover and the different styles, because even week to week, there'd be 2, maybe 3 different types of beer when they only had 8 taps, or not even 8 taps. I think it started out at 6.
Yeah, back then when it was 1 barrel and we were 6 taps, it wouldn't be uncommon for us on a Saturday to switch 3 beers. It could be, and we never like held off and did releases back then. So it was like, it could be at any moment something kicks and we would put a new beer on. It wasn't like we were waiting until the next day. So
that was a matter of survival.
At that point. Now we're like, we'll wait till the next day at least. But yeah, we're still switching beers. Still switching beers pretty often, especially now that we started canning. Since there's such a good chunk of the batch going to cans, we're still like to have a good turnover so people can come in at least every week or every other week and have something new.
What beers are you canning? Are you just canning those 6 core beers or flagship beers, or how are you deciding what to can?
Right now, basically, if we're doing something in a double batch in one of our 6 barrel tanks, we get a can label for it. So we have our 6 core beers, and then in addition to that, we just got a label for Carter, which our release was actually tonight. That's our Mosaic Hop Pale Ale we've been making for a while. And then we have Jahazy, we can that, our New England style pale ale. And we just got our seasonal summer IPA, which is Summer Job, which we sent you guys some cans of too. That's one that we made last year. We really liked, and then we held off making it again until this summer. And then we have next weekend for our anniversary, we're releasing Speedwagon, which is named after our used to be our delivery vehicle. Now it's basically just a sign out front. Volvo. It's an old Volvo station wagon, and that's a Saison, a Belgian style Saison. We have a cool label with our 240 on it.
Nice.
We're pretty much like, so we use Bart from Hopheads does all of our labels. So like anytime we have a beer that we are super excited about, Bart is like so reasonably priced and like gets the concepts that we come up with. We have to throw him like, we called him and we said, hey Bart, we want to do a label for Oats and Hose and we want oat people on a boat. And he just nailed it. Like we don't have to give him a lot of detail, and he just figures it out. Yeah. So we've been getting labels like every other week. We call and order labels, and then 2 weeks later we have a new beer and can labels. So we're gonna try to keep doing that. So we have, I think like 9 now, something like that, and we'll probably just keep adding 1 or 2 new beers every month.
Very cool. That's cool, especially since you're doing a lot of takeout orders now. If you're coming out with new beers, you need to be able to package it and turn it around pretty quickly. Do you guys do growlers or crowlers at all? Or growlers? Yep.
Yeah, we do crowlers. Anything that's on draft that we make, you can get in a crowler. And then we also do growler fills. We sell 64-ounce growlers too.
Yeah, cool.
Should we open another beer?
Yeah.
See, that's another reason I didn't think we should pour our own.
Well, that's fine. I mean, we have cans, so I'll just leave this half a Kolsch in my glass and keep sipping on that, and we'll drink the others out of the cans.
Okay.
Half a Kolsch in my glass. Gentlemen, what do you want us to drink next?
How about Summer Job?
Yeah. Okay.
What else did we get them?
I don't remember. Actually, no. Let's do Turned Up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's the crowler, right?
Turned Up crowler. That'll
All right.
go.
Well, now we need new glasses.
Yep.
See, now you fucked the whole thing up.
Here I go.
Yeah.
Dan's getting glassware.
I gotta take my plate out anyway.
This was my only request. I told Ryan, we'll drink whatever you want, but I want some of that pale lager.
That was my first beer. Now we're switching.
Didn't you guys post that you were super proud of this beer or something like that?
Yeah. We've been lagers have been a huge passion of ours since we've opened, and we've only recently been able to kind of devote more time to them and be able to try to make them more often. Yeah. So this is one that we use a new lager strain with an old recipe. And actually, you guys had the old recipe when you guys were here. Back then, it was just called BTD Dry Hop Lager.
I remember that, yes.
This is brewed with Saz in the kettle, and then it's dry hopped with Hallertau Blanc. It's pretty subtle, but it gives kind of like a cool aftertaste of a little bit of melon.
I realize I'm giving away a little bit of the podcast mystique here because I asked you a question a minute ago that I already knew the answer to about whether you had crowlers, and then I broke out a crowler that I had from you guys.
One thing that I find that's exciting about the brewing industry right now is I think more people are starting to appreciate lagers, whereas everything has been ale, and IPA. We're still in the midst of the hazy IPA phase. But I think a lot of people are starting to really appreciate lagers, and that's a great thing, I think.
I was talking to somebody about that the other day, and I really think it's because we've gone around the horn basically with, a lot, especially speaking for myself. I don't know if anybody else is in the same boat. When I started drinking the macro beers, and then I discovered craft, and then it became IPA, double IPA, hazy IPA, and in the mix I really enjoyed super duper high ABV barrel-aged stouts and whatnot. And now I really just enjoy something that's clean.
How hoppy can you go is what
exactly.
Yeah.
Triple, quadruple IPA with 1,000 IBUs. Get out of here.
Yeah, and then it was, oh, we're going to go super hoppy, but we don't like bitter anymore, so we're going to make them sweet and juicy.
Yeah.
Instead, to make the hops go down easy. This is really nice.
Thank you. So that's one, like, as soon as we basically put that on tap, we decided that's going to get a can label. We're going to make that again, and that'll be canned eventually.
Yeah, there's a nice, like, grapefruity, maybe, like, mango.
Wow. Yeah.
But it's still crisp and clean like a good lager. It's really not too much hop character, very subtle, but it's there. I really dig this.
It's almost kind of, fuck. What did...
It's almost kind of fuck.
That's
what is
fuck water?
Yeah, fuck water.
I saw fuck water. I was in Whole Foods the other day. I saw fuck water. They have sparkling water. Did you know that? I didn't know they did sparkling water too.
Fucking fuck water.
So now you can get fizzy fuck water.
Yes, their cans are still really cool.
We still have. Dan is digging it out. We still have a can.
I think I finally got rid of the last can I had.
It's water. It doesn't go bad.
I was gonna say, did it go bad?
Okay, I remember where it was going now.
Oh yeah, this is a Michelob Ultra. That came from Rich. He won a case of it somehow, and he dropped it off with a bunch of other beers.
Yes, he did. The rest of the beers were from me. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, Steph.
This is sort of reminiscent of like an IPL
Yes.
a little bit, but it's I don't want to say cleaner because IPLs are clean too, but it definitely feels like crisper and dare I say crushable.
Yeah. We were planning on calling it a dry hop lager. That's what we were going to put it under instead of just calling it a pale lager because it is dry hop. But then when we first tasted it, we didn't want to scare anybody away who might not have liked hops because we felt like it was subtle enough where if you tried it, you would still like it.
Yeah.
We have a lot of our regulars or crispy drinkers that'll try whatever lager it is. So we wanted to make sure that they gave it a shot. So that's why we went with calling it a pale lager. And then just in the description, just letting people know that it had the Hallertau Blanc.
Yeah, you still know it's a lager, but obviously it's been dry hopped. I think you used restraint. And I think that's why it came out so well, because especially brewing with hops right now, hops are the focus for a lot of beer drinkers, and it's easy to just pour a fuck ton of hops into the kettle because, we use this many pounds per barrel, and people like to hear that. But using restraint, like you did here, can be rewarding. It's really well done. I like it a lot.
Thank you. Yeah, that only has 1 pound per barrel. So it's in our 3-barrel.
Only? That's still a lot of hops.
No, that's not crazy.
That's nothing nowadays.
Yeah,
I know.
But yeah, it is reminiscent of an IPL, but like without the hops being so up front. Like it's more subdued. It's very nice.
I see the liquid death can.
I leaned in to see what that was.
It's just gonna sit here.
So stupid me, I edited out every mention of fuckwater last time because I edited the first one out and then I didn't realize how many times we actually talked about it. But it was way too late after I edited the first one out. So there are no references in the episode proper of fuckwater last time. So if your only reference to Poor Man's is the last episode they were on our show, we were gifted a couple of cans of Liquid Death canned water, which is really good, to be honest, as far as water goes. But
it's water in a can.
It's water in a can.
That's good as water can be, I guess.
But
I can get you a shitload of that if you want right now. Water.
Yeah, just crowler it and we'll be good. But
Don't get me wrong; it's a really cool looking can, but it's water in a can.
It's water in a can, but it's the Fiji effect. I feel like Fiji tastes better. I feel like this tastes better.
We called it fuck water.
We called it fuck water.
And you took it out of the entire
every
episode.
single time. It's my biggest editing regret of my entire life.
Is it at least an outtake?
I think so.
I'm pretty sure we talked about it in the last call as well, which again, out of context. It's hard to.
Well, there were a lot of patrons there that night.
That's true.
So the ones that were there, no.
Yeah, but I fucked that up. That's on me.
You fuck watered it up.
I fuck watered it up.
You know that Evian spelled backwards is naive.
Oh, makes you
yeah,
think.
don't you need like an umlaut somewhere?
Fiji spelled backwards is Egypt.
Egypt.
Oh my
What's
goodness.
Dasani spelled backwards?
Poland Spring spelled backwards is sheeple.
So you mentioned the Saison that's coming out next week for your anniversary. So first of all, congratulations.
Thank
and
you.
Are you still planning to do some sort of event or besides the beer release, some sort of celebration to commemorate this milestone?
Not a whole lot.
Yeah.
We had some ideas for plans, and we didn't want to really get too far into planning anything because we were scared that we were going to go further backwards and kind of it was all going to be for nothing. So our plan is we're going to release Speedwagon. We're going to have a bunch of that in cans. We're going to do some food specials.
Giveaways.
Yeah, a bunch of raffles and giveaways.
Yeah.
During the entire delivery phase, I think we started like week 2 or 3.
Yeah.
We were giving a raffle ticket to anyone who got a delivery, kind of like to let them know how much we appreciated the fact that they were ordering from us and that when this was all over, we're going to hopefully be able to give some people some stuff back. So we're going to raffle off a bunch of people that are there are going to get to fill out raffle tickets plus some additional. We've saved all those raffle tickets. We're going to start pulling them and do giveaways for merch and gift cards. We've even talked about giving away a membership for our Poor Investment Club for the year if we have some people who weren't already members that got deliveries. So we're going to do that. And kind of just like we normally do a toast. We usually did last year we brewed Hit by Car, which is our imperial stout that we age in whiskey barrels. We didn't brew that this year because we were so tunnel vision on just making sure we had beer in cans with labels in case we got shut down, that we could still survive. So we didn't get a chance to make that. So this year we'll do a special toast, and we always we'll announce what hour it is, but sometime around the middle of the day, Sam and I give a little speech, thank all of our customers for how much we appreciate them, do a cheers. And it's always just kind of it's a awesome day for us, but it's really cool to watch our regulars come in, and you can tell that they're enjoying it to a level that's like they're a part of it. So it's really rewarding to us in that sense too.
Well, we were originally supposed to record during that event, but for the foreseeable future, we're going to continue to do these virtual podcasts. But hopefully we can get you guys on the recording schedule for next August, and we can try again if 2021 decides not to be the bitch that 2020 was.
Yeah, sounds good.
Damn well, but I have too many concerts that got rescheduled for next year that I don't want to miss as another year of no concerts.
I won't admit how much money we have in a savings account from our refunded concert tickets, but we're going to be able to do something really nice with that chunk of change. But it is really sad, all the events and concerts and things that we all had to miss out on. So you'll just have to celebrate double hard next year to make up for this one.
Which means 2022 is going to be the year of the hangover then.
Yeah.
So last year we did this thing where every hour on the hour we released a sixtel that was a different beer, right? Yeah. So my thought process behind that was like we seat about 60. We get, don't tell the fire marshal, we get shoulder to shoulder near, and it's like 150 sometimes. So my plan was to kind of keep like people being able to get in and out of the parking lot. We'll do like an IPA this hour and then a sour. So then like the IPA drinker comes, it has his IPA, and then the sour drinker comes, and like they kind of switch out for each other, right? So I was totally wrong. What ended up happening was all the regulars just decided, well, I'm having 9 beers, 1 on every hour today. And then we just had everyone who was there for the entire day. Like, I'm going to be here noon to 9. This is my seat. And every hour on the hour, I'll take whatever beer is coming on tap. So we're not going to do that anymore. We'll get some timed releases next year.
That's amazing. That's like me at Bonafest. I'm always first in line for the next firkin that's going to be tapped.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's kind of like where I got the thought process behind. And then I actually said something to John about it, like how it worked out for us. And he goes, yeah, no shit, I could have told you that.
No one wants to miss out.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, because how do you get a dill pickle goza on any other day of the year besides when there's a sixtel release?
That's true.
I was so sad. I was out of town and I did not have the dill pickle goza.
Oh, it was fantastic.
Yeah, there was some interesting stuff. We did like 3 different sours. We did a lemongrass IPA,
Mixed berry going broke.
Yeah, mixed berry version of Going Broke. We did the one and only seltzer we've ever done. We called that the hydration hour. Yeah, we did a lot of kind of interesting stuff that day.
Well, for next year, you should do the dill pickle goza again, but this time put habaneros in it.
Yes, thank you.
Wow.
Ryan and I will not touch that beer.
Yeah, same with
I'll do quality control. It's fine.
Yeah. Steph, you might have met your match here.
Oh, no. No, nobody matches that.
I don't know. He's too enthusiastic about all the spicy beers.
He's super enthusiastic, but until I see him put his mouth where his mouth is.
Should do a spicy beer drink competition between you guys.
Oh, that'd be great.
That would be interesting.
I'll do it. I've never had a beer that was too spicy.
Be like a Hot One style.
Yeah, we should film it and put it on Patreon or something.
Man.
Or our actual YouTube that we never put in.
If only one of us had that idea like a year and a half ago.
With the spicy beers?
Yeah.
Was that one of the ideas?
Yeah.
Well, we just had the idea again, so. Any idea that you have that we come up with independently again after we forgot about it means it's a good idea.
Oh, cool. I'll go back through the records.
I'm curious, Mike. What's your favorite spicy beer?
Okay, so several years ago, Star Hill came out with their Reviver Red with habanero, and I couldn't get enough of that. I had it at a brew fest, and then it went away, and then the next year it came back at this place out in Colombia called the something tomato, Crazy Tomato. And that was the first time I ever heard of that place. And I went there and had 11 of them over the course of like 3 different trips.
Only one time.
I know. I was thinking one time too. I was like, damn.
No, I went out there like 3 times. And everybody who ever said, where do you want to go out to eat? I was like, Crazy Tomato. And then I kicked the sixtel that they had.
It's probably the only person.
Yeah, I was
going to drink the whole thing. Yeah.
And then Star Hill stopped making it. Couldn't find it anywhere. And I kept asking about it at every brew fest, and they were like, oh no, that's never coming back. And I was so heartbroken. And then I convinced Ryan to make a spicy beer. And that's what turned out to be Casper, which was our porter. And he asked me how much we should put in there. And I kept saying we should do more.
He said, well, how much can you get? I mean,
well, yeah, I would say about 2/3 of what I actually would have loved. And I think it was actually drinkable to most people, but yeah, I would have liked it a little bit hotter.
So we made a mango habanero beer, and that's the beer that we decided, like, okay, let's get Mike off of our back. We'll make a really spicy beer.
Yeah.
And then pretty much only 2 people could drink it, Mike and then another one of our regulars who makes hot sauce as like a hobby. Those are like the only 2 people who could drink it.
Tim Myers?
I was going to say, is it Tim?
It wasn't Tim Myers, actually.
Really? Wow.
Well, that's not a hobby anymore for him.
That's true. It's a
an actual business. He sells
his hot sauces were pretty good. We had him at some event last year.
It was the Hopheads Hanger Jam.
Right. Yep, it all comes back to Bart.
Yeah, it all comes back to Bart.
Well, my favorite was always Punishment from Stone. Oh, God. That was probably the spiciest. Those 2 fuckers couldn't even take a sip of it. That beer is really fucking good. Safe Word from Free Will is one of my favorite beers ever. But, is this it? I'm looking on Untapped. Yes. So Sam from Bond Place did he called it Cucumber Jalapeno. And it was a lager that he conditioned on cucumbers and jalapenos. That was really good. And then he also did a firkin of something because he messaged me, here, they taste like burning. I think that's it. Yes, this is it. Because he even messaged me and told me it was going to be in a firkin. I gave it 5 stars. It's a wee heavy, and it was conditioned on Arbol chilies. And I had like 4 pints of it that night. And it was like, it was during the week. It was a work night. It was like a Wednesday night. And I'm out like an hour from home drinking pint after pint of this beer in a cask. And that was a really freaking amazing beer.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm getting heartburn just thinking.
Yeah, I know.
I got them too.
Where we get heartburn. Ryan and I are horrible.
Yeah,
for
we
that.
have really bad acid reflux. I can't even drink our sours even. I take one sip of Very Funny when we have a new batch, and it's like, oh, God, someone give me some Tums.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, those kind of beers you need Tums. Hot beers, it's different. You just need something to eat and you're fine.
Has anyone ever tried putting Alka-Seltzer in a sour beer? Kind of 2 birds, 1 stone?
That's smart.
Does Alka-Seltzer have a flavor?
I like that.
I think death. I think Alka-Seltzer comes in flavors, but there's also like unflavored. I don't know, but I think that makes sense.
I don't know that I've ever had Alka-Seltzer.
Oh, it's terrible. It's fucking awful.
Plop, plop, fizz, fizz.
Oh,
and
what a relief it is.
Maybe putting it in beer is a bad idea.
It's probably a very bad idea.
It's probably a Mentos and Diet Coke situation.
I was just gonna fucking say that. God damn it. Well, what do we think? Do we do another beer? Or should we move on to a game? Or both?
Both.
Yeah, I like
both?
the way
All
you
right,
guys think.
Let's intro the next beer.
Woo!
Summer Job?
We're doing Summer Job?
I don't even. What else did we send you guys? Going broke.
We
Summer
forgot.
Job?
Going broke is the other one. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and I actually.
You guys were 1 day too early for Carter. We canned Carter the day after you guys came. We would have liked to send you guys that.
Well, next time.
I'm just
Luckily, I'm not too far from Poor Man's.
Yeah.
I've done several quarantine
Well,
visits. To
I
Poor
heard a
Man's.
rumor the other day that you guys are going to start distributing in Philly soon.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Yeah. Sam's on his way right now.
I should just talk to the guy out there.
The guy. You
To
know,
the guy. Yeah. You got a guy.
the guy.
the face and the hair.
So summer job is
Summer job.
Yeah, that's an IPA with a bunch of wheat, and then it's hopped with Citra, Hallertau Blanc, Falconer's Flight, Centennial. Kind of like West Coast-ish IPA. We were originally going to brew that as a white IPA, actually, but then we decided to drop out the coriander and an orange peel because we were so happy with how it turned out. We just wanted to keep it kind of more basic with the hops last year. So we did 2 batches of that this year, and then that's actually the end of it. So we got a little bit left in the tap room, and then it'll be gone until next year.
I enjoy it. It's probably my least favorite of the beers we've had so far tonight. Just because it's inching into that the wheat IPA category, but it's still really good. I do enjoy it.
Yeah, it's definitely not like New Englandish. It's still our American ale strain.
Yeah.
And pretty dry, but kind of borderline in the like smoothness instead of it being like super aggressive bitter.
Yeah.
I feel it.
It's a good combination of hops and a good, like, comforting flavor and aroma of those really nice old school IPA hops, and it's super drinkable too. I like it.
Yeah, those are our favorite beers to brew. Hops or IPAs that still actually have hops in them, and you get to use combinations of different hops and different times to bring out different flavors. Is still, besides that, and lagers are still probably my favorite beers to make.
Yeah.
I mean, this is an IPA that tastes like an IPA is supposed to.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's
yeah.
got to be like a point of pride, I would imagine. Then too, it's like you're keeping the tradition alive.
Right. At some point, it's got to come back around, right? That's kind of the thought process. Like at some point, people who think they like IPAs are probably just going to find something else, and then like the actual IPAs might come back. If not, maybe like whatever, who cares? But, but like at least I can sleep at night thinking that.
Well, I mean, with this, I think it's a little more likely to happen.
Sorry.
I was waiting for Ryan to come back to play the game, and now Mike.
I think we're doing. I think this is
Everyone's got to go pee.
Everyone's
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. This looks like a pee break happening.
Makes sense.
I'm gonna text my wife too. She'll make us some egg rolls.
Oh
yeah.
Are they gonna be Mama Son's egg rolls?
They are.
Yes,
Yeah.
they are.
Yeah, my wife is now here full time too as our general manager.
Oh, cool.
Oh, cool.
That's really cool. Yeah.
Yep.
She's way better with employees than any of us will ever
Yeah.
be. So we're like, okay, we're starting to have employees now, and like someone should probably tell them what to do.
Yeah.
Around here to do that.
That actually raises an interesting question. How many people do you guys have on the team now in total?
We had a new girl start today, so we're now up to 9.
All right.
9 plus me, Emily, and Sam. So
Oh, cool.
yeah, it's been awesome. We're really hoping that with the 10 barrel, we can actually at some point in the next year bring on one more person on the production side to be kind of like a cellarman, brewery assistant sort of thing. Because right now it's just Sam and I handling all that, and we're still like back when we talked to you guys last time. We were thinking when we switched to the 3 barrel, we'd go down to brewing like once or twice a week, and we're thankful. But we're still brewing like 3-4 times a week. Plus the canning runs now, so like we're getting in 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, and leaving at 5 every day, which we love. Like we love it, but eventually we know we're going to burn ourselves out.
Yeah.
So we're trying to like get to a point where we can bring somebody else in,
Much, yeah.
and it's really cool to employ people. Like my previous job, I managed a company that had 3 locations. And that was like the most satisfying thing is like having a bunch of employees and like seeing everyone happy at work. So it'd be really cool to have some full-time employees here all the time would be, I think, really, really satisfying too.
Very cool. Is there any, I know it's probably not plans in the work or anything concrete, but any inklings of ideas of expanding to a bigger location at some point?
We talk about that all the time because
Yeah.
just trying to fit everything that we have, whether it be fermenter, just the whole production side. We built a little another like cold storage space in the back, and that's already filled with all the cases of cans and kegs. So we already need more room as it is, and we've talked about expanding the garage out further, but we definitely would like to.
Yeah, we're kind
we
of
don't know when.
kind of like at a tipping point of whether we try to build onto this building, which we don't own, or we try to buy a building that we can like live in for a while. Like it's going to be like our forever sort of spot.
Right.
We don't ever want to lose this place as a tap room because it's like right on 272, the main road that goes through Ephrata.
Yep.
It's easy to get to sort of spot, and it's like 100 yards from my house too. It doesn't hurt.
That's nice.
But it would be really nice to find a bigger spot that we can brew from. Like right now, so when we get a pallet of cans, it doesn't even fit through our garage door. So we have to, in the parking lot, take off the top 2 layers of cans. And like the last 2 times we did it, it's like 30-mile-an-hour winds.
Oh my God.
Cans are everywhere. We're trying to get this skid in so we don't lose as many cans as possible. But yeah, so if we could eventually find a spot that accommodates us so we can grow into, it'd be great. And I think if it wasn't for COVID, we probably would be talking about that more. But now we're just kind of scared to commit to anything for at least the next couple months, maybe a year.
Yeah, totally understandable.
We always say that kind of shit, and then we backtrack. Like I remember when we bought the canning line, our one bartender Devin said, "You guys are gonna need a bigger brewing system soon." I'm like, "Nah, that's like 2 years." He's like, "Nah, give 3 months. 3 months. Every time you say 2 years, it's 3 months." And it is like 3 months later, and we're upgrading our brewing system. But we always find stuff for stupid cheap. Sam and I are really really thrifty, so we'll
AKA cheap.
Yeah, we're really cheap. And we're not willing to like lowball the shit out of people. So we'll hopefully find a spot that suits us and move into it not too long from now. But we're looking.
Speaking of locations, how are things going with the Ritas? Is it still there?
I forgot about that.
The Rita.
He's still there. We actually he was over here a couple weeks ago because he wanted to talk to us about something, and we kind of dropped the hint of how much do you like running a Rita's? Would there be an option for us to like maybe run this Rita's and buy it from you, sort of thing? But he didn't bite at that. But yeah, he's still there, and our regulars still fill up all of his poor Rita's parking spaces.
Man, you could have done a Casper gelato.
Yeah, right. I know we're missing out on so many good Ritas and beer combinations.
That would be really cool. I wonder what like the franchisee contract says about like being able to do that kind of stuff. Because it's a chain. Like you can't just like do whatever.
Do you think it's a franchise though, or do you think it's a corporate structure where they decide where they're going?
I feel like Rita's at this point is probably a franchise.
Yeah, they're a franchise.
Okay.
Yeah, they've got to be.
He was telling me that like their franchise contracts are like 10 years and he just re-signed a new one.
Jeez.
Yeah, I worked for a franchise once, and anytime you wanted to do anything sort of outside the box, you had to file or request an exemption or whatever from like their normal standards. It's a whole thing. Yeah.
But I guess it kind of makes sense, so they can make sure it's still going to be like on.
Well, that's the whole point of a franchise is like you're buying a business in a box essentially, but it's got to run a certain way. And,
But now what's nice about it being a franchise is you can't control what your customers do. So I've been known to go over and get some of that vanilla custard and drop it into either a Berry Funny, or I have done the Oats and Hose. Oats and Hose isn't great. The Berry Funny, Berry Funny float is fantastic.
Really? I remember you did that.
I did
10W30.
I did the 10W30
like
too.
our Imperial Stout.
Oh yeah.
Maybe the Oats and Hose was good, and it was the 10W30 that wasn't great.
I would imagine Oats and Hose would work out really well with the custard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
Oats and Hose is such a good beer.
I'm drinking that right now. Actually,
man.
I went and changed tap. So
We'll be doing our pumpkin spice version soon.
oh, really? We're doing that this year.
Yep.
Okay.
That won't probably be draft. We don't tell Mike shit.
I don't know what's going on.
Listen, I won't lie. I would try that. I would totally try that.
Yeah.
It's subtle.
It's very subtle. It was good.
All of
first
the
year
Oats and
was
Hose
good.
variants are really subtle. We do like a coconut one. My favorite is the Oats and Ho Ho Hose, which is Snickerdoodle.
That's great.
Yum.
And then the pumpkin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because when you do that, the only flavoring is the cold brew, right?
Yeah, some of them get some additional
Okay.
spices, but yeah, it's mainly we get cold brew from Javati's Cafe, and they do these already flavored cold brews, so they'll make us up an extra dosage of that flavor in whatever it is, and then sometimes we'll add a little bit extra to it for the variants.
Very cool. You guys should get a beer slushy machine. Get some of that custard.
No.
Do it up right.
No more slushies. No more.
Yeah, but they got the Ritas.
Yeah. We're
Not
like
doing it.
anti-beer slushy, anti-puree in at canning. That's kind of like all
That's
stuff
fair.
we're trying not to do.
We make hazy IPAs. That's
We do
our
make hazy,
extent.
and our hazy IPAs we've actually started to get really into because we should have sent you guys some haze phase. They still taste like hops, and they're cool because we use a Kvike yeast strain, so it gives like a really unique orange peel sort of flavor. Fermented really, really warm. They're fermented like 85 degrees.
Wow.
And they rip through the yeast. We'll take that thing out a bunch of generations, and by like second or third gen of that yeast, it finishes overnight. It's like crazy fast. So like we found a way to get passionate about a beer we weren't passionate about by
cool.
doing some like special stuff with it.
Well, how's the reception been of that beer then? If it still tastes like hops, I mean, I know the traditional hazy ones don't.
Traditional hazy. Never
I know.
thought I'd hear that
that's
phrase.
it kind of hurt to say. I'm not gonna lie.
No, I as per what I said last episode, I'm going to try to not hate so much on the beers people like. It's fun.
Yeah, but I mean, how do people like that beer?
It's so can wise for wholesale, it's our number one seller.
Yeah.
Draft, it's number 2 behind Going Broke, which is our American IPA. So it's definitely popular.
Mm-hmm.
We switch the hops in it pretty much every time. Now we just use cashmere, and we are so happy with how the cashmere batch turned out that we did that one again right after the other one. And then this month we're going to be brewing our double version of it for the first time that we're going to call Second Phase. So that's going to be the double IPA version of our haze phase. But yeah, it's been something that we released right before COVID, and then
it's just picked up.
It's picked up through COVID, and it's been definitely wholesale wise our number one seller by far. Yeah.
Cool. That's good to hear.
Yeah, we really can't complain. And like the beers are fun. They're fun to make and there is a lot of technical side behind it. It's been a learning curve with switching yeasts, and we like punish ourselves here. Instead of having one house yeast, we run like 5 different yeasts at one time, pretty much all the time. So that gets a little complicated, but it was cool to add this Kvike strain and see like it basically breaks like every rule of brewing fermentation that you could imagine is like totally opposite with this thing. So it was kind of fun.
I love that. I love that you took a beer style that you're not totally excited about, but as a business owner, you've accepted that you kind of need to brew this, and you took a total positive spin on it and found a way to make it interesting for you. I think that's really cool.
Thank you.
I was part of a Zoom meeting this week, and it started out talking about positivity, and it's hard right now to internalize and try to find positivity in all the uncertainty and all the stress and anxiety of everything that we're going through. So I think that's a really cool perspective. And like Wayne said, we kind of reflected that, yes, maybe we need to not be such assholes about hazy IPAs as we've been on the last however many episodes, but
150
I think
maybe.
Probably. I mean, people know by now. They're probably like, shut the fuck up. We know you don't like hazy IPAs. Just get over it. Yes, we do need to get over it and move on. But I think, Ryan, I think that's a really cool perspective. And it just shows that in all aspects of our life, even if it's something as simple as brewing a certain style of beer, just finding a way to make it interesting and positive. I think that's really, really cool.
Yeah, and that's something that I also found working with these guys over the last few months is that when, for example, COVID hit, they got drunk for one night and then figured out good ways to do things. But instead of rolling over and saying, oh, you know, this is going to kill us, they said, how can we turn this into a positive? So that's why they went ahead and said, hey, we're going to distribute as much as possible and get the canning line, and position themselves really well into coming out of this stronger than we were before it, rather than just saying, woe is me, and failing, basically.
That's a really good point. And not only are people going to want to support you guys for taking that positive stance and for making the most out of this, but I think you're probably inspiring too to other people, because it sucks right now to be a small business owner. And there are a lot of small business owners that are using social media and other platforms to kind of complain or to get political. And, and that's fine. They need to voice it and get through it the way that they need to get through it. But at the end of the day, we all need to be positive and just try to support each other and make it to the other side of this. And I really respect you guys for being positive and for continuing to give the people that love your beer and the people that like to support you, giving them a positive place and good beer through all of it.
Yeah, it was important to us to maintain. Our tap room's always been kind of that third spot, so you can come here and detox and relax and feel like the stress of life is kind of melting away from you. Even if you couldn't come here, we wanted you to kind of have that experience. So we've even made our social media more light and funny lately, because we know a lot of people are going through a lot of stuff right now. A lot of people aren't happy. Mm-hmm. And we're not the kind of, Sam and I aren't the kind of guys to try to we don't follow politics. We don't watch the news. We're not those guys. We weren't that before that. We're not going to become. The only reason I watch the news now is to make sure that I don't have a new rule that we got to tell the bartender tomorrow. But we didn't want to become the kind of place that was just bringing more negativity to people and making people more and more feel like they're in the hole with this whole situation. Whereas we could take a side where maybe our beer gives somebody a half an hour of happiness throughout that evening that they weren't going to have before, and excitement, something that they can do after they sat at home on their computer all day working from home. Well, I can take 15 minutes and get out of the house and go pick up a 4-pack. Yeah. Or I can get Poor Man's delivered to my door back when we were fully shut down.
They could get 9 hours of happiness with 9 beers, one every hour.
Yeah. There you go. Now we're talking.
I feel like you should do a 9-pack for next weekend, for your regulars.
And everyone has to post on the hour a picture of them opening.
Yes.
That'd be pretty awesome.
You would just watch by the hour, the amount of people posting would just keep dropping. Fall asleep.
Yet somehow they'll have 9 empty crowlers the next morning.
Yep. Oh my God, 9 crowlers, no less. Jesus.
Well, how else?
No,
I guess. That'd be a lot of work to can
I was kind of
9
thinking
different beers and
that'd be a lot.
16-ounce cans.
Jesus.
I'd buy 9 crowlers. That'd
And
be
drink
fun.
them in 9 hours?
What do you think?
Well, you drink it with other people. You don't drink
Sounds
the
like a
9
challenge.
crowlers yourself. You might die.
Yeah, exactly.
Other people. I'm going to drink this crowler with me, myself, and I.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Okay, maybe over 9 days then, if you're going to do it alone.
Fair enough.
Absolutely. Story of a girl.
Yeah, but that's only 1 a day. That's a little too late.
That sounds like quitter talk.
Yeah.
Oh, goddamn.
Yeah.
Well, here, I vote we find a little positivity and we play some happy fun time game.
Yeah, let's get happy. Let's have some fun. All right, let's do it. Woo! Cheers, Internet. Here we are. It always takes me by surprise how quickly we're like, oh, we're playing happy fun time game.
You had 20 minutes to get ready.
I knew it was coming. It just still feels like. Cheers, Internet, and welcome to Happy Fun Time Games, the podcast trivia segment that is reminiscent of fuck.
Does that mean you didn't write an intro?
I haven't been lately. I've just been trying to pick something out of what we've talked about for the episode.
That's good.
It's my new tactic. But anyway, people like to drink, people get bored, and people are weird. All of these things combine in the creation of truly bizarre beers and other boozy beverages that we are going to dive into a game called There's Weird in My Beer.
Yay!
And 2 cocktails. There's 2 cocktails at the end. They're not all beers. Most of them are beers. So
There's
this is
weird in my booze.
There's weird in my booze. It's mostly beer. So this is a game, if you don't know, where I'm going to tell you a little bit about a beer or other drink that has a weird, strange, bizarre, sometimes gross ingredient in it. I'm going to give you 3 multiple choice options of what that weird ingredient is, and you have to guess. The winner gets bragging rights.
We did this last time.
Is this the game we did last time?
I think so, yeah.
I wanted to go back and check because I thought we did the bad beer reviews with you guys last time, but I guess I was wrong.
Because remember there was one that was peanuts, and James just goes, penis!
Yes. Well, all right, then we're playing this game again, but at the end there's 2 cocktails. So yeah, you guys know how this works. Our listeners probably know how this works. I just go over it just because that's what you got to do. So we're going to begin in time-honored tradition. To my left
God damn it,
with
I-
Dan, our first beer of the game. During a tasting of this hazy IPA from Washington State, a writer for the Portland Mercury asked her Cicerone tasting partner, "Are you getting petroleum?" To which she replied, "I'm getting a smoky coconut." Now, this beer contains neither petroleum nor coconut, but does include something inspired by another trendy beverage. Is it matcha, rice milk, or tapioca pearls?
Oh God! All of that sounds terrible. I'm gonna go with tapioca because that's my least favorite of them all.
All right, Dan saying tapioca. Steph
I'm gonna say matcha.
going with the matcha. Sam.
Tapioca.
Oh, Sam also going tapioca. Mike.
Tapioca.
Tapioca because peppers weren't an option. And Ryan.
Matcha.
Oh, matcha and
Almost.
tapioca getting all the love. The tapiocas are correct.
Hey!
It was tapioca pearls. It's called Boba Bubbler from Matchless Brewing in Tumwater, Washington. Has tapioca pearls cooked in brown sugar added to the mash.
Is boba tapioca?
Yeah, that's what that is.
No way. No wonder I hate that stuff.
I know, right?
Yes, it is. They claim that it's fruity and quirky, just like boba tea. However, our aforementioned tasters claim that neither of them got flavors of tapioca or brown sugar, but they concluded it was a taste. Certainly a taste. Moving on to our next beer of the game. Steph's going to guess first on this one. Coming from across the globe in Australia, where many of our weird beers have come from. This is a wheat ale brewed in 2016 and pays homage to the place where it came from. Not the Outback, but a strong Vietnamese community in the Sydney suburb where it is brewed. It includes a savory and popular East Asian treat. Is it pork rolls, sesame chicken, or fried tofu?
Jeez.
Mama Stone's egg rolls.
Mama said egg rolls. That's it.
Yeah.
Was egg rolls an option?
Nope. It is pork rolls, sesame chicken, or fried
Pork
tofu.
roll. I'm gonna say sesame chicken.
Steph going with the sesame chicken. Sam, what do you think?
What was the question again, Wayne?
All right.
The whole damn thing.
We need to do a supercut of every time somebody said that on the podcast. Wait, what did you ask?
What?
So it's a wheat ale from Australia. It comes from a place where there's a large Vietnamese community and includes a bit of takeout street food that's popular in that community. And is that pork rolls, sesame chicken, or fried tofu?
Fried tofu.
Going with the tofu. Mike?
I kind of hope it's fried tofu, but I don't see how that would work.
Yeah. I agree, but I'm going with pork roll.
All right, going with pork rolls. We're all over the board right now. Ryan?
I'll go sesame chicken.
Going with the chicken, and finally Dan.
I have a very important question that is a distinction. Is it pork roll or pork rolls? Like spam or rolls of pork?
His face.
Right now.
Not spam. Think egg roll, pork roll.
See, that's what I thought, but I was like, eh.
Yeah. It's not pork that somebody just rolled down a hill.
What were the other options that I got real caught up on that?
Got caught up on pork. He usually does.
That's true.
Pork rolls, sesame chicken, or fried tofu.
Let's go tofu.
Going with the tofu. Everybody but Mike was wrong. It's pork rolls.
All right.
Yeah, pork rolls.
I should have kept getting caught up on it.
You should have. Complete with cucumber, carrots, coriander, chilies, and pork broth. Marrickville Pork Roll from Batch Brewing Company has everything you might expect from your local Vietnamese bakery. Called in the native tongue, Banh Mi Thit, it's one of a variety of popular takeaway staples that combine Asian and French ingredients and techniques. Also goes in beer. Moving on to our next beer of the game, and Sam is up first to guess on this one. This is an electric blue beer from Abashiri Brewery located in the coldest parts of Japan. It gets it gets its blue color from the use of seaweed in the drink. Even more unique, however, is where the brewery gets its most fundamental ingredient, water. Where does that water come from? Does it come from icebergs, rainwater, or distilled whale urine?
I actually know this one.
I'm gonna go with the whale urine.
Going with the whale urine. That's a sound clip. I'm going to go with the whale urine. Mike?
I'm gonna go with icebergs.
Going with icebergs. Ryan?
I'll do icebergs also.
Also going with icebergs. Dan? Dan is say it into the
I
microphone.
know it. I know this one.
Well, you shouldn't have said that
because
because
I said it earlier and I fucking
Oh.
know. It's icebergs.
Steph still has to guess.
Then I guess I'm gonna say iceberg.
Saying icebergs. Everybody said icebergs
I
is
fucked
correct.
it up. I'm sorry.
Thanks, Dan. Yeah, it is icebergs. The beer is called, and I'm really going to try here, Okutsk Blue Rio Draft.
Keep my pants.
What was the name of that again?
Okutsk.
Can you repeat that one, please?
Okutsk Blue Rio Draft. It's
Does
made.
it say it that many times, or are you stuttering?
No, I'm stuttering.
Okay.
If I spoke Japanese, it would go much smoother. It's made using meltwater from icebergs in the Sea of Okhotsk, which is where that part of the name comes from. Rohuyo means iceberg in Japanese. The sea is part of the North Pacific Ocean that separates Japan from Russia. It's a refreshing, light, 5% ABV beer, also infused with seaweed. Truly a beer from the blue, but thankfully, no whale parts are involved. Moving on to our next beer of the game, and we are up at Mike to guess first on this one. This is another beer from Japan from the same brewery, Abashiri Brewery. Back in 2006, they hit on a unique idea that made use of a product that was being thrown away. The result was a low malt beverage that was 70% beer, with the remaining being a product that was in such surplus that farmers in the region were throwing it away. Was that cattle feed, milk, or eggs?
I'm gonna go with milk.
Going with milk. Ryan?
Milk.
Also going milk. Dan?
Yeah, I'll go milk.
Also going milk. Everybody liking milk so far. Steph?
Milk.
Oh, milk's all across the board. Sam, agree or disagree?
Going with milk then.
Good.
Everybody going with milk. Everybody is correct. It is milk.
Woo!
Does anybody want to guess what they called it?
Leche. Oh, I'm sorry.
They called it bilk.
Jesus Christ.
Beer and milk. Bilk.
That was my... Okay.
Yeah, the idea came when the brewer learned that farmers were tossing out a surplus of milk. The brewery said, after they put beer yeast and hops into the drink and began the fermentation process, the beverage looked and smelled like tea with milk. However,
Tilk.
When fermentation was complete and the drink cooled down, it had the same color as beer. Reportedly had a very fruity taste with a cloudy finish, appropriately enough. Bilk from Japan. Moving on to our next drink of the game, and Ryan is up to guess first on this one. We are moving into the wild world of mixology.
Oh, boy.
Yes, this is a drink you have to be in the know to procure. It's an off-menu cocktail available at a cafe in New York City. A martini that incorporates tomato and basil with a simple and kid-approved culinary staple. Is it pepperoni pizza, a grilled cheese sandwich, or bagel bites?
Grilled cheese sandwich.
Going with the grilled cheese sandwich, Dan.
Can I ask what cheese was used on the grilled cheese sandwich?
Cheese.
No, you can't.
Cow's milk cheese.
I'm curious. I want this to be the answer because I want to hear the full description, and I'm gonna wish it. It's grilled cheese.
All right, Dan also saying grilled cheese. Steph?
I was thinking pepperoni pizza.
All right, Steph going with the pepperoni pizza.
I usually am.
We've had beer with pizza in it before.
And
Sam.
it was really good.
It really
Yeah,
was.
Actually.
Grilled cheese.
Going with grilled cheese. Sam's going with grilled cheese. And finally, Mike.
I think the kids these days really like those pizza rolls, but I'm going to go with a bagel bites.
Oh, going with bagel bites. Mixing it up.
I got violently sick off bagel bites at one point in my life, and I cannot eat them.
Pick up a bagel bite. Too many.
Wow.
I don't know what it was, but it was probably too many. But I can't look at them the same.
Well, Dan, Sam, and Ryan are correct. You won't get sick off of this beer because it's a grilled cheese sandwich. Also not a beer.
It's not a beer.
It's also not a beer. I misspoke. It's a cocktail. It's a martini. The grilled cheese martini, in fact.
Oh, that makes more sense then.
Yeah, it was invented at Beecher's, an artisanal cheesemaker and cafe that also has a basement cocktail lounge called The Cellar. It starts with a grilled cheese sandwich left to infuse for 24 hours in a vat of vodka. When served...
Sounds so gross.
Yeah, it does sound really gross. When served, vine-ripe tomatoes, muddled basil, tomato juice, and a healthy pour of that double-filtered grilled cheese vodka go into a cocktail mixer. Then, a martini glass is rimmed with house-reduced balsamic and crispy bits of prosciutto. The concoction is poured over a giant tomato juice ice cube.
And where
Does
is this?
grilled cheese really infuse that much flavor into vodka?
Apparently,
It's all fat. All good flavor is fat or salt.
or sweet.
Well, I was thinking the pepperoni would give some flavor.
True.
Kids don't like pepperoni pizza though. That was a dead giveaway.
Ah.
No.
What?
Not our kids. Grilled cheese all day
Grilled
long.
cheese. Sam and I got kids. All they eat is grilled cheese.
Grilled cheese.
Peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah.
That's it.
See, I don't even have kids, and I
Damn.
tapped into that.
So where am I getting a grilled cheese cocktail?
So here's the thing. It's Beecher's in New York City. They also have cafes in other cities across the country. However, I don't think they offer this anymore. It was invented in 2011, and the page for it on their website is no longer there. So, I mean, maybe if you ask, because it was a secret menu item.
True. But I also don't know the next time I'm going to New York because I'm not supposed to leave.
By the way, a secret menu item that involved leaving a sandwich in a vat of vodka overnight. So, like, you had to know somebody was ordering it.
What if they just left like 10 of them in the vodka overnight?
Ew.
But then only 8 people ordered it. Do they just toss them and they're like, it's vodka, it's fine.
Well, it's not one sandwich per person.
Oh, you know what? That makes a lot more sense then. Never mind.
Oh, that's the best.
They also said a vat of vodka. I don't know how big that is. I don't know if that's like an official measurement. So, we have come to our last drink of the game. So we're going to recap the scores real quick. Dan has 4. Steph has 2. Sam has 3. Mike also has 4. And Ryan has 3. So Sam is trailing. Sam and Ryan coming in next with 3 each. Dan and Mike at the top with 4 points apiece. We are now... Oh, and the Mama Son's spring rolls have arrived. Our last drink of the game. So I did 6 because I thought James was going to be here too. Unfortunately, he's not. But so now we have a final one. So we're going to let Steph go first since she is... Oh, Steph goes last because she is trailing. So we're going to have Sam go first. Our final drink of the game, continuing with cocktails. We now move to Seattle, where mixologist Anu Apte at Rob Roy Cocktail Bar invented a punch that will really spark a fire in you. It contains a pretty standard mix of rum, gin, some citrus and spices, and then adds an extra kick. Is that extra kick butane, pepper spray, or gunpowder?
What?
Pepper spray.
Going with pepper spray. Mike?
Yes, Cam stole my answer. Pepper spray.
Pepper spray as well. Ryan?
Pepper spray.
Oh, everybody's saying pepper spray. Dan?
Fuck it. Gunpowder.
Fuck it, gunpowder.
Because if it's true, I want to know how the fuck this works.
All right, Steph.
Is that even legal?
God, I hope not.
I really don't know.
I really hope
It's legal in Seattle.
Well, I need to pick something that nobody else picked, so I have a chance of not being in
So
last
the only one,
alone.
nobody picked butane.
Then I'm going to say butane.
Saying butane.
And now I'm singing back.
That is not the correct answer. I will tell you that. Oh, there's a bottle of butane right there. Just for effect. It is not butane. It is also not pepper spray. It is in fact gunpowder.
No fucking way!
Oh, I lost.
No!
It is gunpowder. Yeah?
Yeah, I love
Mike, I really figured I was throwing this one out for you.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. He thought he was jumping on the grenade, as it were.
it. Yeah.
Ooh. Yes, it's called Gunpowder Punch.
Wow.
It contains aged rum, gin, spices, lemon juice, orange, and actual antique formula gunpowder. The inventor says her parents are into homeopathic medicine, and gunpowder is just carbon, sulfur, and potassium, all of which, unsurprisingly, are used in homeopathy. She does go on to say, I wouldn't tell anybody to just sit there and eat gunpowder, but in small quantities, it's fine. Also, it makes the punch gunmetal gray, and that's cool. So there you go.
I don't like this person.
Gunpowder Punch. Available in Seattle. At least it was.
Seattle?
Seattle. Yeah.
It's nice this time of year.
Yeah. The gunpowder in
Seattle's
the morning.
actually a really fucking awesome city.
Smells like fireworks
Seattle,
in the
on the
morning.
other hand, we don't know.
So that's the game, ladies and gentlemen.
God.
We're going to add up the points. See
Unnecessary.
who our big winner is. And it is Dan.
Yeah.
Dan wins with 5 points. Only one incorrect
might
answer.
come back after last episode.
Coming up right behind with 4 points is Mike. Almost had it. Followed by Sam and Ryan, both with 3 points. And an unusual poor showing for Steph. 2 points sitting at the bottom.
Whatever.
So there you go. No prizes, no punishment, because fuck it. But this is the part of the podcast where we shout out to our most generous patrons on Patreon who help us keep the podcast going. We would like to thank very sincerely the following patrons: James Lamberg,
Peanuts.
Joe Mansell,
Hell yeah.
Dana, dude, I love cheese. Sean Sullivan, I appreciate a good cheese. PA Brew Review, I love cheese. Lots about cheese going on here. Topher Simmons,
Them's my peeps.
Poor Man's Brewing Company,
Them's my peeps.
them's my peeps. Mark Modugno,
Your business card is nice and thick.
Kathy Obashevsky,
Tofurkey.
Jill Chivers,
What?
Eric Dixon,
Sweet baby Jesus.
Jen McDonald,
It's drugs.
Josh Price.
You can't really stick your whole thumb in there.
Oh, a classic.
I love that one.
Brian Mills
Filled with yummy goodness.
and Ron McDonald.
It's got a hair of Dutch.
If you want to find out how you can get on this list and all other cool kinds of behind-the-scenes perks that we give to our patrons, go to patreon.com/beerbusters. Dan, what time is it now?
Commercials and pee.
Commercials and P. Enjoy them.
Say, Yvonne, remember when I said I'd have to send away to NASA to calculate your bar tab?
Oh, yeah. We all had a good laugh, Mo.
The results came back today. You owe me $70 billion.
Cheers to you out there in Beer Busters land. I want to tell you about the good people at Brooklyn Brew Shop. They've been empowering the kitchen curious since 2009. Their beer-making kits are compact, attractive, and easy to use, keeping the most space-strapped brewers in mind. You get to use the same ingredients at home as world-class craft breweries. There's no extract, no sugar powders, just grain, hops, yeast, and depending on the beer, some other fun and exotic spices. And they also have a new series called Farm Steady, which is do-it-yourself food kits like cheese, baking, fermentation, foraging, and more. And this encourages people to revel in the kitchen by savoring foods they would never imagine making at home, like bagels and cream cheese or soft pretzels with beer cheese, Italian cheeses, and kraut as well. And they even have hard cider, wine, and sparkling wine kits too. Moo's excited about it too. Each kit comes with everything you need to make your professional quality beer at home. And if you visit bit.ly/beerbustersbrooklyn, you get to enjoy fast and free shipping on orders over $59. That is bit.ly/beerbustersbrooklyn for free and fast shipping on orders over $59 from Brooklyn Brew Shop.
I'm already drinking the next
I was
beer.
going to say, we have one more beer we got to
All
drink.
right, let's break out the last beer. The last poor man's beer.
Yes. Because God knows we have plenty of other beer we do
I have a
need to
feeling
drink.
there's going to be at least one or two other beers in the mix
Probably.
before the night's over.
And then we have last call we still have to do.
All right, well, here, you can have that one.
Oh God. I mean, thank you, but also I have to drink another beer. Yeah, I mean this looks like Bart.
Yeah, this label
Swork.
really is the work of Bart.
Not actually
Kaminsky.
Bart himself.
I was going to say,
No, that
That
doesn't
looks
look
like
like Bart at all, the character on the label. But the label artwork does look like Bart style.
it does.
That was actually, if you guys, did we have the mural on the wall when you guys were here? The big hop guy mural?
Yes.
So that was a guy that Sam went to, like, you know him,
I just knew him
elementary
from,
school.
yeah, I've known him for a while.
He designed that label, and then Bart kind of added a bunch of stuff to it. He designed the hop guy, and then Bart added the brick wall and a lot of the lettering and that kind of stuff, and kind of cleaned it up.
And made it legal.
Yeah, made it legal. So that's our flagship IPA. It's brewed with mainly Citra Mosaic, 7%, a handful of oats, and it's by far our favorite beer to drink outside of JaCrispy. I do like one of these a day because I'm usually like a 5% and under guy. So I stick to like our Kolsch and pale ales and lagers, and then I'll usually do like one going broke every day. That's my kind of like treat beer sort of thing. That's our favorite IPA to make.
It is nice. What is the ABV on it? 7%. 7. Yeah, so it is a big one.
Yeah, it's high enough to you can have one or two maybe, but then not so high that we have to give you a 12-ounce pour of it if you come into the tap room.
Right.
Ooh.
It's good. I like it.
Yeah.
It's got a nice maltiness. It's got that malt backbone that nobody talks about anymore.
Man.
Right?
Nobody talks about malt backbones anymore.
It's got a bunch of Munich malt in it. We use Munich 20 oats. So it's kind of like old school meets new school sort of thing with the Citra Mosaic. It's a lot of new school hops. The Munich malt is a lot of an old school thing. I've made that beer at home before we opened probably 100 times. Since we've opened, I've probably brewed that beer 35, 40 times.
We're on batch number what?
Yeah, we're on batch like 250 here. So
Wow.
we've made that beer pretty often.
Old standard. Dan's hearing things. What are you hearing?
That middle off in the corner.
You want me to call?
No, he was signaling to me like there was something weird in his
There's
headphones.
like a static noise here and there.
It's probably check your headphone connection because I don't hear it.
Oh, I hear it. I hear it all night, and I heard it last time too.
And it's not consistent. It's almost like a weird shitty ass Morse code pattern of static.
No, it's pretty consistent on my end.
Like right now, it's not going.
No,
now it
it's
is
going here.
No.
Can we wrap this up? The fuck? We still need to do last call. We need to let these boys get home.
Do you hear it?
No.
This is the shit I deal with all the time.
Should we break out a what is an EMP? What do the ghost hunters use?
No, an EMP will knock everything out.
No, that's not the right thing. That's a different thing.
I do want to mention that you guys have a homebrew competition coming up in it's August now, next month in September.
Yep. Yeah, we're super excited. We had it scheduled for like right before COVID, and then waited till kind of afterwards so we could get people in here for an award ceremony. This is the second annual. Last year we picked a rye IPA, and Kathy and Kelly were the name of the two women that came with the recipe, and that beer was so good.
It was really good.
Yeah, it was awesome. So we're like really hoping that we can get something to top that this year, but it's gonna be hard. That's always fun. We get Mooduk is also doing a brewer's choice, so we'll do a brewer's choice. We'll get to come out, brew. I don't know what system we'll have at that time. Might even be a 10-barrel batch of something like that. And then they'll get to brew at Mooduk. It'll be on tap there, whoever the Mooduk brewer's choice is. And then a first, second, and third, we'll get ribbons. And a lot of the other breweries in the area donate a bunch of swag, like glasses, gift cards, T-shirts, that kind of stuff.
That's so cool. And that is September 19th, 2020.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And all the details, I saw you guys had a Facebook event page, so all the details are on there if anyone is interested. So if people want to, Dan, this is usually your job.
Yeah, you beat me to the punch more often than not, so go ahead.
Well, you were rambling on about some bullshit. I'm trying to get us back on the rails.
There's
here.
a fucking... I still
there's a ghost in the machine. There's a fucking poltergeist.
Still hear it.
I don't hear it. I have not heard it at all. But I have terrible hearing, so don't go by me. But I haven't noticed any. I haven't noticed it at all.
Dan, do your job.
It's probably some kind of interference from like the air conditioner or.
It wasn't going before I went to the bathroom though.
Oh, that's what it is.
It's been going all night in my ears.
Really? Oh.
Well, whatever it was alien signals that were being blocked by Dan's full bladder. And now that he emptied his bladder, they are getting through. His bladder served as sort of a tinfoil hat kind of situation, like a Faraday cage
Jesus Christ.
that protected the podcast from the alien signals.
Oh my god.
Wayne, I love you.
But yeah, Dan's piss has weird electromagnetic properties.
I guess it does.
So is Poor Man's on the internet? Can people find you there?
If Dan drinks more beer, we'll be safe.
Yeah, we have maybe like the Facebook, social media
Facebook,
stuff,
Instagram, website.
We update it.
Got all those things.
Poormansbrewingcompany.com at poormansbrewingco.
Co.com, yeah.
Yeah.
There's like things and stuff on
Just
there.
Google it.
There's
Just
things and
Google
stuff.
it.
Yeah, you'll figure it out.
It's
Yeah.
out there.
Go to the fact and questions thing. Sam and I made that really weird and funny, and no one has commented on it yet. We tried to make it funny.
I'm going there
like,
now.
No one has said anything about it yet.
You have terms and conditions. You have privacy policy.
We have a privacy policy on our website. We had to put that there for something. I don't remember what. For some reason, we had to have a privacy policy. I don't remember why.
How do you get to it?
I don't know. Maybe that's why no one said anything yet.
Just Google it, apparently.
I think it's like about us.
Oh, it's under the About Us.
There we go.
What's Dan doing right now? Is he rubbing his boob or?
He tried pouring beer on himself to see if that would block the alien signals. We're waiting to see if it works.
The aliens interfere with my motor skills.
Yeah.
Poor Man's Brewing. Hold on. Poor Man's Brewing. Do they want to meet you?
That's just white.
You
that is
bet
just
they do.
white on the screen.
I own the place and I haven't even seen this.
We have this one random week where all the tanks are full and we don't have any canning runs, and Sam and I basically just go out to buffets and go out to eat a lot.
Yeah.
That's the kind of weeks where weird shit like the website happens.
You can't do buffets anymore. Post-COVID,
We just
there's
went to
no
Shady Maple.
buffets.
Well,
We just went to Shady Maple, and I can tell you can do buffets right now.
no. See,
Hold on.
you
They need to
can't-
tell us about.
You
Stop.
can't do buffets. You can do smorgasbords.
What's the difference?
Yeah, but no,
Chris,
we
don't
need. This needs to be a last call discussion.
Yeah, it sounds like it. All right, so find Poor Man's
right.
Brewing on the internet.
Read their weird FAQ section, where they may or may not want to meet you. Who knows? Stay tuned to last call for that.
We're on the internet too.
This
Hit
is
the
true.
button already.
No, I got things I got to say.
Find us on the internet.
Find us on the internet at
Type
Beerbusters
Beerbusters in Google.
into Google, but also Twitter and Instagram. Beerbusters Podcast on the Facebook. BeerbustersPodcast.com. Patreon.com/Beerbusters is how you get access to Last Call.
Oh, also, Amazon is starting a podcast thing, and we're probably going to be on it. So there you go.
That's kind of exciting. But I mean, also fuck Jeff Bezos and his $190 billion.
I don't know. Libsyn said Amazon's starting a podcast thing. Do you want to be on it? Click this box. Yes. Okay.
Sure. Why not? More exposure to
So there you go.
to more people. But
And that's when the buzzing started.
yeah, sure. But unfortunately, that brings us to the end of another episode of Beer Busters. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us and for making sure that we had your beer to drink during this episode. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Any time. One thing we did not say is whatever podcast app you are listening to this through, whether it's Amazon or Stitcher or Apple Podcast or what have you, rating and review would be super appreciated, but also do that for every podcast you listen to because
Or Amazon.
we all need it. Or just tell Jeff Bezos that you like us. I am Dan Baker, joined by my co-host and brewologist,
F. Hefner.
and the demented and fermented
Wayne Baker.
No squids were harmed in this episode. We'll see you next time.
We're going to go double hard next year.
Okay. I
Do
need
you
to
not
know.
fucking hear that?
I don't hear anything. I don't know what you're talking about.